Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us to our panel session on the topic of African-European science collaboration, which role for CIVIS? And as you all are aware, we are not unique anymore as CIVIS with our African-European membership structure, but we are still the forerunners and probably the most advanced in reaching out to African universities and including them in our alliance. And we're all looking forward, of course, to tomorrow when our currently still strategic partners become associate members. And this 1.5 hours is to discuss together with our African associate member universities this topic, which role for CIVIS now and in the future on this very specific topic, African-European science collaboration. To give you a bit of the background, of course, we are not actually operating in thin air here, but there's a huge development in which we are part of. Consider, for instance, the African Union, European Union Innovation Agenda, where both actually political organizations of the two continents agreed to boost their science collaboration. Consider, for instance, the work of the Guild and ARUA, the two associations of universities in Africa and Europe, assembling research-oriented universities, which just launched a project with 1,000 PhD scholarships, organized through joint centers of research excellence. And there are many more examples like this, that there's really something going on between our two home continents in terms of science collaboration. And we are happy and proud to be part of this process, but it also, raises the question, where do we want to leave a mark? What is really in it for our institutions? And where should we actually focus our energies on? And I would like to discuss this important question not only with my distinguished panelists, but then in the next step immediately with you, the audience and the CIVIS public. And I would like first to welcome you to the panel, Professor Fatma Aid-Mous, and I go strictly according to alphabetical order here now, who is a professor at the Université Hassan II Casablanca, and also the Hub 4 representative in CIVIS. Then please welcome with me Professor Ahmed Haj Kashem, the newly appointed president of the University of Sfax. Then we don't have our colleague Amadou Mbaye still here yet. He was actually scheduled for another public event, so maybe he will join later. But then please also welcome to the stage Professor Mucha Mwezemba, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities of the University of the Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, South Africa. Then please, Professor Barnabas Navangwe, would you like to come to the stage? Barnabas Navangwe is the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University. And last, but of course not least, and only according to alphabetical order, please, Amalia Uamus, would you like to come to the stage? She's not only, of course, a professor at the University Eduardo Mondlane in Mozambique, but also a vice rector for research at that university. Already, we repeat ourselves, but we are so happy and proud that you are here and join the CIVIS Days with us. And my first question, really also to warm up the discussion, is if you think now of your university, what makes you the most proud? And maybe a spontaneous answer. Amalia, would you like to start? Oh, we need to use these microphones because we are live streamed. Yeah, so please, whoever is talking, please use the microphone.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon. I am very happy to be here today and to have the opportunity to talk about my university. There are so many aspects that I am proud of my university, but I will just mention some of them. I am proud of the long way that our university has done to be at the stage that it is nowadays. It is a long way in terms of hard work, but it was in a very short time. In fact, our university was founded in 1962, and after our independence in 1975, we had to rebuild the university from scratch. In 1975, we had less than 10 Zambican academic staff in our university. And we worked very hard, and nowadays 49 years have passed, and we have qualified Zambican staff. We continue counting on the support of our international colleagues, but I'm very proud that we are providing a best quality of education in Mozambique. We are the best ranked university in our country. In the Portuguese-speaking countries in our region, are one of the best university, and why not? Even in Africa, we are very well positioned. So we participate in many benchmarking activities, and we are very happy that we are really doing a very hard but good work. I am proud that in terms of research and extension, we are providing our government, non-governmental organization with responses to the needs of the country. So I am very happy that nowadays in our university, we have also international students coming from different parts of the world. So for a university that started in 49 years old, so to say, and nowadays we provide training in undergraduate level, post-graduation level with many international students, particularly in the post-graduation level. It is a reason to be proud. So I am also proud of the contribution that we are giving to our country, but also to the world, because we are training world citizens. Our programs are comparable to many programs in many different countries. And last but not least, I am happy of the international partnerships that we have developed along the years. And among them, it is the partnership with CIVIS. Thank you.
Atma, would like to continue?
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here and to speak on behalf of Hassan II University of Casablanca. Like Amalia, my colleague, I have many reasons to be proud of. But let's say that also I will dwell a little bit in history to say that our university first was built in 1975. In Casablanca, and then we had another university in Mohammedia, and in 2014 these two merged to become one of the biggest public universities in Morocco, and we are really proud that we are serving approximately 145,000 students in all disciplines with the task force with like 2,600 professors. So we are actively engaged in international collaborations, like boasting over more than 300 partnerships worldwide, and participating in prestigious programs and reforms like Erasmus Plus or Horizon 2020, which enhances our global visibility and academic quality. Maybe to mention to you, to inform that we are included in the prestigious Shanghai ranking for 2024 as the only Moroccan university, public university. And I think this recognition highlights our commitment to research and academic excellence. So this is one of the first reasons to be proud, but also I think as Hassan II University, we are based in the biggest city in Morocco, metropolitan Casablanca. So we are engaged also in social engagement with the communities, and we are happy to have a chart of social responsibility, and we are working also on gender sensitive chart in our university. So this is really important for us in terms of inclusion and in terms of internationalization as well. We have very good programs of international students, and we just launched the House of International Students in our university. So I'm happy to share all this information. Thank you.
Merci.
We have someone to translate for you.
Okay, I am very happy to be in Salzburg and in CIVIS days. Donc, and I am very happy to represent University of Sfax. Peut-être je vais switcher en français. Donc, je suis très heureux d'être ici parmi vous aujourd'hui. Et je suis aussi très heureux de représenter l'Université de Sfax. Donc, Ahmed Hkassem, je suis le président de l'Université de Sfax. Et peut-être c'est une grande responsabilité un petit peu de présenter les atouts de l'Université de Sfax dans un laps de temps qui est relativement réduit. Mais je vais essayer d'être un peu court. En fait, les premiers établissements de l'Université de Sfax sont créés depuis 1974. Et l'université de Sfax, aujourd'hui, c'est une université qui compte de l'ordre de 33 000 étudiants, des étudiants, principalement des étudiants tunisiens, mais on a une composante très importante d'étudiants internationaux qui sont inscrits tous les ans à l'université de Sfax. Donc, on a à peu près de l'ordre de 1200 ou 1300 étudiants internationaux qui viennent un petit peu de tous les pays de l'Afrique principalement. Ces étudiants sont encadrés par plus de 3000 enseignants, des enseignants dans toutes les spécialités, y compris les sciences médicales. Donc, on a des enseignants, des professeurs universitaires, hospitalo-universitaires aussi, qui sont très actifs. L'université de Sfax est une université très attractive parce qu'au niveau du classement international, on est très très bien classé. D'ailleurs, en 2023, on faisait partie des 1000 premiers dans le classement de Shanghai. Donc, ce qui fait qu'on est très attractif. Et aussi, une composante très importante dans l'université de Sfax, c'est tout ce qui est formation doctorale. Donc, la formation en thèse aussi, qui est très attractive pour les étudiants, que ce soit des étudiants tunisiens ou des étudiants internationaux. En l'occurrence, comme je disais hier, on a pas mal d'étudiants libyens, on a pas mal d'étudiants aussi de doctorants irakiens qui sont inscrits à l'université tunisienne.
Merci beaucoup.
J'ai des choses à dire en plus, mais peut-être pour la traduction.
Oui. Arrêtez.
Merci beaucoup. Just a moment, thank you. So, thank you to be here. The University of Sfax is also quite aged. Was established in '74 and is one of the leading Maghrebian university with more than 1,300 international students, which are supervised and taught by more than 3,000 professor in different disciplines, had a kind of focus in health department, and also was ranked within the Shanghai University in 2023, and became very attractive university, especially for sub-Saharan students, but not only, more in the MENA area, especially in Libya and Jordan and Iraqi. There are a lot of students coming to study in Tunisia, and especially in Sfax.
Donc, par rapport aux formations, on est dans une démarche, un peu les atouts de Sfax, on est dans une démarche d'accréditation des formations. Donc, on fait appel à des instances à l'échelle internationale et donc, on est dans une démarche d'accréditation. Ça veut dire qu'on est très proche des normes qui sont à l'échelle internationale, ça au niveau de la formation. De la même manière, au niveau de la gouvernance aussi, on est de plus en plus, on passe par des process de certification. Et donc, on est dans une démarche qualité qui a été initiée, ça fait une dizaine d'années maintenant. Donc, on est très bien avancé sur cet aspect-là. De même pour la partie recherche, donc on est très très bien classé sur la partie publication et des publications qui sont de qualité avec des thématiques de recherche qui sont d'actualité, dont pratiquement toutes les spécialités sont représentées dans l'université de Sfax.
Okay, so according to the doctoral training, which is quite important in as offer of the university is giving to students, there is a long an effort of the university in working in accreditation and recognition, international standard for the doctoral training, and especially in the quality process of this for the whole discipline. I mean, all the discipline. Not specific.
Et peut-être, je vais ajouter le fait que il y a pas mal d'événements sur le plan international qui sont organisés par l'université de Sfax, et c'est un peu le résultat du réseautage qui sont en train d'être menés par l'ensemble des chercheurs, par l'ensemble des enseignants-chercheurs de l'université de Sfax. Et merci.
And yeah, the last things was about the publication. There is a lot of publication also added in from Sfax, and let's say Sfax is growing internationally. If I can resume. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that was the voice of my colleague Grazia Vulcano, Project Manager for African-European Collaborations. Thank you very much, Monsieur le Président. Mucha, would you like to continue thinking of it? What makes you proud?
Yes, thank you very much. And it's also my pleasure to be here representing the senior management of the University of the Witwatersrand. In short, Wits University, or is it is sometimes pronounced in English, Wits University. And I do think that's an appropriate, short term for a place that is about developing wits in the mind and what have you. And I just wanted to start off by saying that, as I reflect on what makes me proud about this university, so it's called Witwatersrand, which simply means that, and that's Afrikaans for white water and copy, right? And this is to say that Wits was built on top of a copy on which water flows to form a white waterfall, the white waters run. And the one thing that makes me really proud of it is the way it is for me, a fountain of knowledge, if I can use that metaphor. The fountain of knowledge. And every good fountain of knowledge with its salt means that it is constantly refreshing itself, constantly revising syllabi, constantly revising its courses to reflect current concerns. And that's exactly what we at Wits try to do all the time. Wits was established in 1922 And in 2022, we had quite a big party to celebrate the first centenary of this university. And so with that, we embarked on a new strategic framework, which started last year in 2023. And so it is called, it's going to last 10 years. So it's called the VETS 2033 Strategic Framework. And that strategic framework was driven by the need to actually rethink our position within South Africa, the university's position within its local settings, within Johannesburg itself, and what it means to be a university within a setting such as Johannesburg, with its diverse cosmopolitan populations, in a place that that itself is you could call it a microcosm of society, stretching from Johannesburg, going into the townships of Soweto, Alexandra, you name it. As you spread out across the country, it takes students from all corners of South Africa, of different social backgrounds. But all these people are coming from very poor backgrounds, a few of them from rich backgrounds, and we become this diverse, university. Because and that for me really says a lot about what it is that we're trying to do at this university, to address issues of social injustice, to address matters of ecological and environmental injustice of the past. And that's why just mentioning the history of where this university has come from and how it has grown over time. And it hasn't been an easy one. We now enjoy the status that we are one of the best universities in Africa. I know each and every university wants to make that claim, right? Because each university is good at doing something, right? And I think this is good at actually attending to the issues of social and environmental justice. And we see where the kinds of planetary crises that are there. And I think it behooves every university to really contribute to how we resolve those kinds of matters. The one thing that makes me very proud of VETS is that we are a university that has produced students, not just students, but 4 of the Nobel laureates hail from VETS, and that includes former President Nelson Mandela and others. So that for us is really something we are very proud of mentioning. But we cannot all win Nobel Prizes. So there are those that we have produced across, who are now CEOs of huge conglomerates across the world. We have really come from VETS. And we do get, and we must acknowledge, that we do get some form of assistance by way of fellowships, grants, and so on and so forth. Some of the buildings you see at VETS, beautiful as they are actually donations from former VETS students. Now, as we attend to the local issues, because we want to be a university, as this strategic framework I'm talking about reflects, we are a university that strives to be socially relevant. Relevant because we are trying to attend to the needs of the poor, the needs of many who are sick for proper, well-produced knowledge. And we teach those skills, and we think we do that very well, because we have a number of students who apply to VETS but don't succeed in getting in. And I'm sure it's an issue around, at many universities. But we continue to be a growing university a university that started off, I'm told, with less than 1,000 students years back, but now we have 36,000 students and a staff complement of over 3,000 in terms of academics, and of course service staff, which takes the numbers to about 6,000. So there's a lot that I can talk about. I also didn't talk about our the need for internationalization. We in creating partnerships, and which is what we are doing actually here. That is a very big player in many collaborations. You heard about Arua. You heard about this CIVIS itself is one such in many more. So I don't want to keep talking. I want to give the Vice Chancellor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we pass on the question, Barnabas Navangwe.
Thank you very much, Chris. I'm a proud Makererian, and I'll tell you why I'm a proud Makererian. I'm a proud Makererian for many reasons. Makerere has definitely shaped the history of Uganda and the history of East Africa, at least as far as higher education is concerned. You cannot talk about higher education in East Africa without mentioning Makerere University. Actually, in East Africa, at least in the rural areas, if you say you are going to the university, they know you are going to Makerere. Maybe the best illustration of this was given to me by a former politician in Uganda who said he went to study for a master's at Harvard. And when he returned and told his mother, I have got my master's from Harvard, she asked him, and when are you going to Makerere? Okay. That illustrates the position that Makerere University occupies in the hearts of the people of East Africa. Most of the independence leaders of East and Central Africa were all trained at Makerere. All the first presidents, prime ministers, ministers, all cabinets, at least of the 3 East African countries, were all trained at Makerere. So Makerere has got that proud history. But Makerere has also got a great presence and a great future. We are destined to be a research-led university globally. We are considered by the Times Higher Education to be the most collaborative university in the world. Nobody beats us on that. And why do they rank us like that? They say there are more researchers at Makerere University publishing jointly with the researcher at another university than any other university in the world. Those statistics are there. However, Makerere prouds herself in being the vanguard of the development of the region. And we look forward. We are therefore strategizing to do as much research and innovation as I've said. And we are the first university on the continent to produce an electric car. Because of the research that was done at the university, Uganda is going to be the first country to produce indigenous electric cars. And as I speak, the factory is almost complete now. Makerere has also done a lot of research and contributions in the area of health. When we were devastated by HIV as a continent, we came up with a therapy which is used all over the world for the prevention of transmission of HIV from mother to baby. That therapy was developed at Makerere and it is used all over the world to save humanity. I don't think I should go on anymore.
Thank you very much, Barnabas. Last but not least, Amadou Mbaye is on the stage, and he's the Rector Emeritus of UCAT. What makes you proud when you think of UCAT?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me apologize for my late arrival. I made a mistake regarding the time of this panel. So what makes me proud of my university is a very difficult question. but I'll try to address it while also trying to be brief. First is the historical position. It was the first university in the Francophone region in Africa. We were set up as a university in 1917, and it was set up as a school of medicine. And it progressively upgraded to become a full university. It was in 1957, and it was meant to serve all West Africa and all Central Africa, for Francophone countries. And we have never departed from this vocation of training people from Africa in general. We have a very good track record of training people who eventually become president, heads of states. With President Diomaye Faye, is a recently elected president of Senegal, we had our 7th alumni as president. And the set of alumni includes his predecessor, President Macky Sall, but also the former president of Mali, Ibrahima Keita, the former president of Benin, Patrice Talon, and the like. And when you visit Francophone Africa, be it in the West or in the center, most of the people serving in hospitals, at universities, in the high level of administration were trained from our university. And this is very important also to highlight. We have succeeded to resist breaking down of the university. Normally in the Francophone tradition, whenever a university achieves a certain level of size, we tend to break it down into several components. That's why how we could have Ouagadougou number 1, Ouagadougou number 2, Yaoundé 1, Yaoundé 2, Lyon 1, Lyon 2, etc. We have always resisted this breakdown. And now we are very proud to see that universities that used to split in France tend to try to reunite again. We have always resisted this breakdown. It makes a huge university, a huge entity with 90,000 people, very difficult to manage, but still we are here as a big university. What also makes me proud is a large spectrum of disciplines we cover. We have a very good school of medicine with a very important accomplishment in many areas, like the testing procedure for malaria, also the development of vaccine for the B hepatitis, or the isolation of the HIV-2 virus, and many other landmarks. Our School of Humanities is so very, very strong in many areas of humanities. We also have a School of Engineering, a School of Business and Economics, a School of Education, etc., etc. We almost cover most disciplines in science and arts and technology, of course. Our ranking for with EduRank, we are topping the ranking for Francophone Africa, and we rank it number 28 for overall Africa. And we belong to most global university networks in the world. So it's very challenging to summarize everything that makes me proud of my university, but yeah, we could later on share some brochures that will tell more about what could make us proud of our university. But last but not least, I would like to underscore some important fact. We are the single university in Francophone Africa which does not discriminate in recruitment of staff or faculty by nationality. So in our faculty, we have people from Cameroon, from Benin, from Togo. They applied, and the applications are treated on the same ground as applications coming from Senegalese nationals. And we are the only university to do that. And we are very proud of doing that. And it makes us be sure we are recruiting the right people, regardless of their nationality. We even recruit people from Europe and from North America. We do not discriminate whatsoever against race, nationality, or the like. Now, what are the opportunities with CIVIS? Opportunities are real. I could.
That's already the second question, but you can actually.
All right.
But indeed, you could actually start already the second round of questions.
That's fantastic. Okay.
No, but the second question is indeed, referring to the strength of your university you just described, but maybe also the challenges you face in your country, but also in your institution, but also considering all these collaborations you already entertain with European partners. What do you want to see in CIVIS, in our partnership, now and in the future?
Okay, thank you very much. So I proceed with that question. I think the potentials are huge, and we need to mainstream them. We need to have more exchange of faculty. I think it's important. We need to have more exchange of students. This is also very important. And we do have challenges for us. All these issues regarding visa and the like will need to be addressed and properly addressed. African faculty have greater challenges visiting European universities than visiting US universities, for example. In US, they have a platform at each university, they could, I think, which is called CIVIS. Once the university enters the detail of the invited professor, the embassy is almost obligated to grant the visa. They call it the J1 or J2 visa or the I-20. So it's almost straightforward. As long as you have one serious connection with a US-based university, it's not a big deal. While in Europe, it's not the same. It's very, very, very complicated, and universities seems not to have a strong leverage on consular services. So this is a very big limitation we need to address. But we might need also to collaborate on outreach, to work to achieve some social goals in Africa and in Europe. Let me just give you two examples I was personally involved in. We are part of a big network which is called the Global MDP, Global Masters in Development Practice. The secretariat is based at Columbia University. 40% at least of the program is about field practicum. Students are required to spend some time in the development setting to do experiments regarding developments. And I have been fascinated by two accomplishments our students made happen. The one, okay, when I said our joint student from UCAD and student from Columbia, in some Senegalese rural areas, many women die while giving birth because they do not follow up regarding their medical visits. So the student could set up a system of alerts using text message, and these dramatically reduce the number of people dying while giving birth. And they also another team of students could set up a system whereby rural producers could have information about prices and output while being at different spots of the country, because sometimes you have huge variations in terms of price. I think we could do more on this sphere of outreach. Leapfrogging is an important opportunity. African universities could use their connection with universities in Europe to leapfrog, to make huge progress in terms of knowledge acquisition and technology. And this is made even much easier with the development of technology, of IoT-based technology in particular. I will stop with the last opportunity to collaborate, which I really would like to emphasize. And this has to do with indigenous knowledge. Right now, we realize that we have a real problem with diversity in science and arts. We have a great body of knowledge, which is not recognized in science in modern universities. UNESCO is trying to mainstream that. And we have a lot of things to do to make sure we have greater diversity in knowledge, and knowledge from all sources are duly accounted for when we do science and arts. Thank you very much, Christian.
Thank you very much. And we can pass on the microphone and the question to you, Amaya.
Thank you very much again. Regarding the challenges of our university, in 2018, our university council approved a new strategic plan. And one of the most important aims is to transform our university into a research-intensive university. So we have realized that after more than 40 years of teaching, and doing, yes, carrying out some research, but not intensive one, because our number one need was to train people. Then we realized that we have created the conditions that in our country we have now more than 20 universities. I think there are 24 universities, and public and private one. And these universities are all offering undergraduate programs, and some of them, some postgraduate program. Then we realized that it was time for us to take a next step. So many of those universities were created by our alumni. So former students of us who nowadays they are professors, and then they left the university and created other university. So to be very brief, we decided to transform our university into a research-intensive university. And this is a huge challenge. But it is something that we are very much interested in doing, because we think that it is through intensive research that we can best address the developmental challenges of our country. And we have done a baseline study, is the right word, to see where we are now and where we want to go to be comparable research university, and what is the effort that we need to do to go there. And one of the results of all these studies show that we need to reform our university itself, that it will not be possible to be a research-intensive university with all the structure, all the organization of a teaching-intensive university. So we are now in this process of reforming our university in an administrative and in academic, administrative and academic. We want to reform the university. So this is one of our biggest challenge. And as you may know, to be a research-intensive university, you need a certain number of PhD holders in your university that can lead the research, that can train post-graduation students. And that is where I would like to say we need the support of ARUA. We need to increase the number of PhD holders in our university, staff members, first of all. We need to increase the numbers. So we would like to count on your support for training more and more PhD academic staff. We need to increase the share of PhD students. It means we need to offer more PhD programs, more master programs as well. And here we also need your support, for example, through joint programs, double programs to train our students. And it is not only training, but also the supervision. We would like to see joint supervision between our academic and CIVIS academics. It is also a way of coaching. We know that the CIVIS University, they have well-trained academics. So by doing joint supervision, they can be coaching our colleagues to this process. We would like to see mobility from Mozambique to Europe, and to the other African countries. But we would like to see mobility from European students to Mozambique. We would like to see this. I think that we talked a little during the meeting in the morning. That makes a very good change in the future generation if we give them the opportunity to come to Africa, to come to Mozambique, and the other way as well. So joint supervision and mobility, and yes, it is more or less all related to the PhD programs. It is where we would like to have your support. But I am also thinking about the joint projects together, joint research projects, applying together for the so many funds that are available. Teams from Mozambique, Wagmondlane University, working with teams from CIVIS University, applying together for joint projects. It is what I could say regarding these two aspects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Fatma, which role do you see for CIVIS?
Should I start with the challenges and then, okay?
In light of the challenges, but also the strength and the existing cooperation.
Okay.
But maybe focus on your vision.
As we already mentioned this morning, our Ministry of Higher Education launched a comprehensive reform to modernize and boost our higher education system in order to make universities like spaces of innovation and cognitive development for a really new pedagogical model. And we have like 4 steering plans in terms of higher education teaching, research, but also digital transformation and innovation management. And the challenges we are facing is like as I mentioned when I said some numbers about our students, like each year we have thousands and thousands of students recruitment. So we have to balance in some disciplines like in humanities, in law, in economics, between the massification and the quality in terms of teaching and supervising. And this is really one huge challenge. And the other one is how we can align the curricula of our curricula with the labor market demands. This is, let's say, inside Moroccan issues. But in terms of our partnerships, as I said, it's worldwide, but mostly Europe. We are very interested in capacity building, and also because I think also I'm sharing the same idea with my colleague that our professors, we have like a task force of almost 3,000, but not yet. But they are all retiring. Most of them are retiring. So we need also like new generation. So we need to train more PhD students. That's why we are also this morning speaking about this PhD projects we can do in CIVIS or in other networking. So we also have, like as I said, we are really good in research. Also, we have also this challenge of research excellency. Like in science and technologies, we have like niches of innovation. That's why we are in Shanghai ranking, as I already said. But like it's also one of my job at the university with our president is how I can help also research, to develop research in humanities and social sciences, how we can help colleagues to publish and to go in terms of indexation, etc. And also, I think we are sharing also with the colleague from Senegal this idea of how we can like transform artistic teachings or humanities that are viewed in society or in terms of economic value as useless, okay, but are so important for humankind, for societies. So I think this is also something that we need to work on. In terms of CIVIS, yes, mobility in both ways, okay, because I think we were talking about this from yesterday already with the presentation of Stefan, that we need more epistemological diversity, and we can't have it if we didn't decolonize. Let me introduce again the concept here, the discussion. So I think from our perspective, and also what can our colleagues, researchers, but also PhD or students in this kind of let's say new way of doing mobility is that more than the international exposure, let's say intercultural exposure, but also how this they can learn from each other. Because they are all facing the same challenges, they are coping with uncertainties in the future. So I think this is also something that I think that in CIVIS, I really feel it more in coming up in the discussions or in policies mostly. And I think this is something that really interests me in person. Thank you.
Thank you. We go on. And maybe you could try to be compact in your answer. Thank you.
Donc, moi, je vais développer en français, hein, bien sûr. Donc, pour les défis, mais les défis aussi, je vais les un petit peu les positionner aussi avec avec ce qui peut être apporté par l'Alliance CIVIS, ça c'est important. Donc, pour l'université de Sfax, nous, on a constaté que si on souhaite travailler à l'attractivité, sur l'attractivité, ça aussi, c'est un parmi les premiers défis, c'est qu'on doit s'ouvrir davantage sur des formations avec des partenaires européens, donc tout ce qui est co-diplomation, double diplomation. Donc ça, c'est des choses qui sont très, très intéressantes et qui sont très attractives pour les étudiants, les bons étudiants, je veux dire. Donc, on a mené pas mal d'expériences, mais on estime beaucoup à ce que cette alliance CIVIS va contribuer dans cette dynamique de double diplomation et de co-diplomation. Ça, c'est, je crois, c'est un premier point qui est très important. Ça, c'est pour la partie formation. De la même manière, pour la partie recherche, l'université de Sfax, je n'ai pas cité tout à l'heure, mais on a plus de 100 laboratoires de recherche dans l'université. Donc, dans tous les établissements, on a 19 établissements et on a beaucoup de travaux communs qui se font avec pas mal d'universités à l'échelle européenne, d'ailleurs parmi les universités qui sont ici présentes d'ailleurs. Mais on estime aussi que si on souhaite développer la partie, tout ce qui est attractivité et visibilité, on doit aussi continuer à travailler sur ces aspects de partenariat sur des projets. Et moi, j'estime personnellement qu'à travers l'Alliance CIVIS, ça peut être une vraie porte d'entrée pour cibler des projets, pour cibler des programmes, des programmes où on a beaucoup de compétition, des programmes de financement qui sont pas faciles de pouvoir y accéder en tant qu'université, une seule université, mais à partir du moment qu'on ait plusieurs universités, aussi bien du sud que du nord, ça va permettre de donner plus de chances pour pouvoir aller sur des programmes qui sont des programmes compétitifs. D'accord?
Okay, so you will continue later. So for the teaching, concerning the teaching, the University of Sfax is really investing in embedding its attractivity. Doing so, taking advantage of the double degree process. So to foster, to embed, to enhance all these kind of double diploma for the undergraduate, but I think also for the graduate and postdoc, for the co-tutel, I think, I'm thinking. And so to continue to work in this effort in joint degree and double degree where is possible, and for the research, taking advantage of the existing infrastructure that Tunisia can make available. As I understand, there are more than 100 laboratories within 19 departments, so which means that there is a real vivier. How do you say it in English? There is possibility to do things over there. And the last things, what it was, is okay. So the teaching is okay, the research is okay, and there was a last things, but I forgot. I'm sorry.
Non, c'est surtout, je disais, surtout c'est par rapport.
Sorry. Sorry. Just to take advantage of the fact that in the attractivity, when in international level, of course, being in partnership with European university makes you stronger, especially when we want to apply for very specific and competitive call grant. Of course, when we're standing alone, it won't work. So doing that together could be easier to get the grant, to get the fund.
Peut-être je vais ajouter un point par rapport à l'impact sociétal de l'université. Ça aussi, c'est quelque chose sur lequel on est en train de travailler. C'est le fait que l'université, soit bien ancrée dans la société, et ça suppose, à travers ça, notre vision, c'est de définir quelques spécialités, plutôt quelques disciplines et quelques thématiques, j'allais dire pilotes, sur lesquelles on peut travailler. En l'occurrence, l'Université de Sfax, c'est un pôle de e-health, donc tout ce qui est e-santé, donc c'est un pôle d'excellence. De même, c'est un pôle d'excellence aussi dans tout ce qui est autour de l'huile d'olive, parce que la région de Sfax, c'est une région qui est très, très bien connue à l'échelle internationale par la qualité de l'huile d'olive. Et ça aussi, c'est des choses sur lesquelles nous sommes en train de travailler au niveau de l'Université de Sfax pour justement que l'université soit une vraie locomotive pour la région, une vraie l'impact sociétal, c'est quelque chose qui se mesure, et donc on est plein dedans. Et encore une fois, je crois que l'Alliance CIVIS peut aussi nous aider, peut être dans cette dynamique et peut de la même manière contribuer dans cette logique attractivité, visibilité, impact sociétal. Donc ces aspects-là, c'est un peu notre challenge pour l'Université de Sfax. Merci.
Okay, but so it was attractivity, visibility, and the social impact, and especially for the civic engagement, the University of Sfax is already working a lot in the e-health. So there is these two, how do you say, spot hub cluster, I would say, of interest in the health, even olive oil and all the production. That this make the excellence, let's say, of the country, and the university is quite engaged in that.
Thank you very much. I pass on my problem to you. We want to leave enough time for discussion, but of course be equitable in the distribution of time at the panel. So whatever you make out of that, Mucha, the question is yours.
I heard you loud. So I'll be very brief. So at VETS, we do try, we really strive to give our students a good education. But we recognize as well that in order to create a student who is going to compete on the international scene, that can only happen when we expose them to other ways of thinking, other ways of knowing, to take away the idea that, I mean, only the knowledge you received at VETS is it? That is it. That's not the way we think. So I don't want to think of your question in terms of challenges, but the kinds of opportunities that we are exploring for our students to build on what we give them. Naturally, you have to provide the kind of education that our university is known for. But in so doing, we are also saying that we want to expose them to new trends that are happening at other institutions and so on and so forth. So we believe we are very strong on collaboration. Even before CIVIS came into being, we were already, we already had a lot of established collaborations between 2 universities, between 3 universities, and so on and so forth. But we have already, tried to plug into all these major, bigger, groupings such as CIVIS because of it's an easier way, a quicker way of actually, exposing our students to new knowledges. And I want to also echo what has been said by my colleagues here, that mobility is of the essence. And I think student mobility, so too staff mobility is one element that we must continue to emphasize. We need to underscore that because yes, our world has become much more integrated via virtual means. Let's keep using that, but let us also not take away the physical meetings. I mean, you all here today, and I do think every one of us has benefited something by meeting somebody you never imagined you'd meet, or those faces you used to see on Zoom or Teams, but when you see the actual person, sometimes you don't even recognize them. So there's something to be said about virtual communication. It has got its own advantages, so to its own limits. So I think that constant exchange of ideas, of programs, curriculum. I mean, thinking beyond curriculum. I think I heard this so many times in the sessions I was in, that we need to go beyond our curriculum. How do we reach out to other communities that surround us? What good is knowledge if it's not usable and can be shared with the communities that we live, with and amongst, and communities from whom we extract the kind of raw material that we use to churn into our publications? Does it mean anything at the end of the day? So I think in so doing, we see best practices when we are in a grouping such as CIVIS, and VETS is indeed alive to the importance of such collectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bademeister Wange.
Yeah, thank you. The greatest challenge that we face as a university is to increase our impact on society, because modern universities are required to, let me say, justify their existence. by contributing to the well-being of society. So for us, that is what is the biggest challenge. And we, of course, address several other challenges as we are addressing the issue of impact. Top on the list for us is the demographic changes that are taking place in Africa, and particularly Uganda, where our population is just exploding. You very well know that Africa was depleted over 400 years of slavery, but now the population is just exploding at a time when maybe most of the resources have also been taken away. Now that is a big challenge. So demographic changes. How do we, especially hinging on that, how do we ensure food security for this big population? How do we ensure the health of the population? Now, these issues are worsened by climate change. Makerere is located in the so-called Great Lakes region of Africa, which is the worst affected by climate change. So for us as a university, we have to study these issues, and we have got to come up with policy directions for government, and also real researched products. Conflicts. The Great Lakes region is still the most affected by conflicts, despite all the good things that are there. The Great Lakes region is also somehow the epicenter of epidemics. So Ebola begins there, Marburg begins there. Only COVID didn't begin from there. Okay, but we have to address these issues, and we are trying, and we are definitely addressing them. So we are doing research in all these areas, and we are contributing to solving these issues. The issue of food security, we have to research in alternative crops that are resistant to drought, for example. And we are doing a lot of work in that area and making some progress. Of course, we are doing a lot of research in diseases and epidemics. And Makerere University is probably very well placed in solving things like Ebola. When Ebola broke out in West Africa, it is people from Makerere who went to solve that problem in West Africa. Now, conflicts, we have got programs in peace and conflict resolution, but we also host the only Rotary Peace Center that is on the African continent. There are cross-cutting issues, of course, issues of inclusivity, gender, disability, minorities, and we are addressing all these. When I joined Makerere University, the enrollment of women was 5%. It is now 53% because of the various policies that have been put in place. There is the issue of refugees. We are the biggest recipient of refugees in Africa, and we have to solve that problem. And so Makerere University has joined a global, we are pioneers of a global consortium, which brings together, I think from Europe, I know of Oslo, University of Oslo and the University of Stockholm, they are members of what we call the Global University Alliance. And the issue is, can we try to beat the deadline by the UN of ensuring that 70% of the refugees can get higher education by the year 2030? So we are part of that. And then digitization. I always tell of the story where I attended a conference in Beijing in 2019, and most of the people in the room were Africans, although it was organized by UNESCO. And we talked and talked, but in the end, the organizer said, the real reason we are here is to answer one question. Will Africa be left behind again? Now, we don't want to be left behind again. So we are doing everything to ensure that we are not left behind. I think since you said the time is not our line, let me end there.
A lot to do for CIVIS and our collaboration here. I noted many things, as you probably also did. Exchange, the significance of exchange, joint research, PhD training, visibility, gaining visibility, social impact, and increasing that. And now we changed the format. You are involved in the discussion, but the question remains, which role do you see for CIVIS in the African-European collaboration? Because, of course, it's not a one-way road. But, of course, you're invited to comment on any other aspect mentioned here. Oh, yeah, please. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you asked us as African partners to say, let's schematize what we gain from CIVIS Alliance or such kind of collaborations. I am really interested to hear from colleagues in Europe. What is this alliance for you? What do you learn when you are working with African partners? And also because I think this is the perspective, African, European, European, African. So I think we should reframe it really specifically in that. Thank you.
Yeah. Your hand was first. Could you briefly say who you are also?
Yes, of course. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Nada Belawan. I am a French student at Aix-Marseille University. I am a master's student, but I also studied biology and public health before for my undergraduation. For me, having African partners in the CIVIS Alliance is a huge advantage because we will be able to make new blended intensive programs there. So we will be able to learn from foreigner students, from another environment. That's why I think that's why I came here also, because I wanted to hear all of you what you wanted from this alliance. And I can tell you that in my university, I talked with a lot of students and also with the workers of CIVIS, and everyone is really impatient to see this alliance between the European universities and African partners growing. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I didn't hear a question, but we maybe collect first a few ideas and comments from the audience here.
Eva Lechel from PLUS. Well, for me, it's as well enhancing our academic excellence via many corporations and especially also research projects or doctoral networks. So I think it's for CIVIS and for the partners and as well for PLUS a great opportunity to have all of our esteemed African partners on board of this alliance. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
Now I think I'm speaking in another session, isn't it? So the other time is finished. So I did not mention that Makerere University is a very collaborative university. We belong practically to any alliance you want to think about, which has presence in Africa. We are in Arua, we are in the Euroforum, we are in the AAP, we are in the Australia Africa University Network, or International University, we are associated. So we are very collaborative, and for good reasons, because we know that these days there is the saying, collaborate or perish. And you can see the advantage, the benefits that Makerere University has got as a result of this collaborative agenda. Now, I think the CIVIS, as you mentioned in your opening remarks, so far is the most advanced European consortium as far as collaboration with Africa is concerned. I have been chairman of Arua, which maybe has more members, but we are still designing how to collaborate. The first thing that we are going to do, probably jointly, is the PhD program. But through CIVIS, we have already been doing things. Actually, there are things being done by my colleagues, which I didn't know. I'm just learning about them here. A lot of collaboration is already going on. And I believe that through the exchange of knowledge between Europe and Africa, we can jointly help to solve some of the problems that afflict humanity now.
Edward, and then.
Yeah, thank you very much. I wouldn't speak after my boss has made that, but only that you have given us an opportunity as the audience to mention what we can benefit as African universities from the CIVIS network. I want to say, I want to just repeat that the question of whether African universities can benefit through academics, research, and societal impact is well, I mean, we stand to benefit a lot from all those. But allow me to say that in terms of enhanced research collaboration, African universities can be in position to gain access to the European expertise by undertaking joint research projects and all that. And also the importance of mobility, both for students, but also faculty members. I've always been telling my colleagues that one of the advantages of going out to another university may not only be to gain, you know, to get a lot of academic material, but it is very, very important that you learn from experiences, what other people are doing, what is being done at this university that we need to take as an example back to our university is very, very important. And so the cultural sort of exchange and all that, best practice and all that, for both students and staff is a great opportunity that CIVIS presents. But at the same time, the capacity building and institutional strengthening opportunities, joint curriculum development. We have been talking about curriculum in the previous sessions. The blended intensive program, the BIP program, the leaders mentioned here, and others. But again, access to funding and resources, the research grants and the EU funding, which definitely in Africa we may not access unless we have this collaboration. And so CIVIS presents that as a great opportunity for us. But also in terms of shared infrastructure, where the African institutions may gain access to resources such as advanced research facilities, the digital libraries and all that that it presents. Lastly, the global visibility and networking, which is great. It is one thing that we cannot measure by our collaboration with the CIVIS. Thank you very much.
I have a speakers list in my head. So, and on that list, you are first, and then Najib, you on my list. But maybe you could actually go forward.
Exona Kasniji from Plus. So besides, so I would like to return to the question, what does the CIVIS Alliance benefit from the collaboration with the African partners? Besides the various academic collaborations, I'd like to emphasize also that through broadening our collaboration, we further enhance the core values that are promoted by our alliance, such as multiculturalism, multilingualism, and especially internationalization, which we all strive for in today's modernization world. So if we want to be more global, if we want to internationalize more, this is the right path to go. Thank you.
Stefan, Najib, okay. Emilio is not okay, so.
Il est temps d'avoir la parole, quoi. Je ne vais pas être long, mais je me présente, Najib Bouthelja, directeur des affaires académiques et des partenariats scientifiques à l'Université de Sfax. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on attend de CIVIS? CIVIS, c'est une alliance stratégique. Mais nous travaillons plus ou moins avec des degrés différents, avec les différentes universités partenaires. CIVIS constitue une occasion pour consolider ce qu'on est en train de faire. Mais il s'est avéré dans les temps qui courent, c'est vrai que nous travaillons la science, nous formons les cadres de la société, nous sommes au service de nos sociétés, mais il s'est avéré dans les faits qu'on doit se comprendre mutuellement d'une façon beaucoup plus profonde. Donc on doit se connaître, se reconnaître et se comprendre mutuellement entre les sociétés à partir de l'université qui regroupe une bonne communauté. Donc on essaiera d'ancrer les meilleures pratiques de la cohabitation et vivre ensemble dans ce monde-là. Donc c'est très important d'avoir ce genre d'alliance. Il n'y a pas de rivalité, mais il y a une complémentarité. C'est très important de faire passer ce message. D'ailleurs, nous sommes des partenaires associés et non pas à part entière. C'est très important. Mais nous nous sommes engagés et nous travaillons pour améliorer notre contribution dans cette alliance. Très important. Vous allez traduire? J'ai deux autres petites idées. Ouais. Voilà.
No, my dear colleague at my side said that CIVIS is an academic alliance, and that we are also, as universities, as we have a kind of service for society. And therefore we have to acknowledge and understand each other. I try to summarize it. So we want to create the best practices and co-create the world we are in. There is a complementarity between us, and we are not full partners, we are associated partners, but we have to engage ourselves, and we are ready for that. J'ai bien traduit?
Ah oui. Vers la société pour être utile. Et CIVIS aussi, il favorise le multilinguisme. C'est très important.
Nous essayons, oui. Nous essayons. Emilio, and then Peter, and then we need to come to an end because I would like to go on our panel for last question, which you're not prepared for.
Thank you so much for this session and invitation. I would like only to add two things and agree with what was said here. The first thing I think I would like to see from CIVIS, it's really bringing the voices of our clients, the students. I think we need to have a space for students in our organization. We need to hear more from them. Because this would truly then, I'm going for the second point, have CIVIS doing business differently. I heard you say in the morning that we want to do things of our interest, so want to be demand driven. So we need to listen to our clients, which are students, and make this partnership not only focus on academic impact, but very importantly on societal impacts. Thank you.
So this is the moment to shine for me. So I'd like to say, I just wanted to share with you impressions, not from this week, from last week. Christian and I and many of our CIVIS colleagues had the opportunity to attend a wonderful conference. The conference is the annual conference of the European Association of International Educators, the EIAE. So this is the biggest conference of its kind for people like me, people like vice rectors for international relations. And it is a one-off, and it's a thing one has to be there. It's a very expensive a conference. One has to go there, has to be present, and it's the first time as far as I know, that CIVIS, as a global, and we are a global network, had the opportunity to be presented there with a CIVIS booth, and they called it the CIVIS station, and it was incredibly successful. First of all, because it was organized so well, and by the CIVIS team from Belgium, as far as I understand, very professional, very impressive. There were other European university associations and European university initiatives there present as well. But let's face it, we were the most visible ones. Second, opposite this CIVIS booth, there was the booth of the European Commission. So here they were, our main sponsors. So we were extremely visible. The expectations are quite high now, but still we were there, we were visible, and it was so good that we did it. And then there were many other little events and sessions back to back to all kinds. One of which being the EIEA session for BIPs. And who had the opportunity to present the BIPs? It was CIVIS. So we had a wonderful presentation together with the European Commission, and it was again very successful. You were there. We had full house. So we are visible. CIVIS is there, and CIVIS is now the recognized institution, the recognized European University Initiative that actually works together between the European and African partner universities. So visibility is one thing, but I wanted to say one thing about it. We now have to pass on this good news of CIVIS to our superiors. We have to pass it on to our ministries. We have to pass it on to the embassies. This is what we do. We have to communicate. And I think this is an opportunity now. And we now have to go back into the train and travel on. Congratulations to everybody who was involved last week.
Thanks, Peter, for sharing the experience, which was really a splendid one indeed. I would like to invite the panelists for 20 seconds intervention. You want to see in the next 3 years in CIVIS. Don't, be spontaneous. Think of a program, an initiative you would like to see emerge. Who wants?
Moi, je rêve de recevoir des étudiants qui viennent des universités européennes à l'université de Sfax à travers ce consortium, okay. Cette alliance.
Very concrete one.
Joint PhD program with African and European PhD students.
Okay, noted.
Joint research programs of mutual interest implemented by researchers from both sides, and joint teaching programs, a blended program, hybrid program, rolled out on both sides of the Mediterranean.
Efficient use of your 20 seconds. Yeah. Any further interventions? Yeah.
Same exactly. I mean, joint research projects and joint PhD programs, or double, at least joint or double program. What it must be faster to do. I think double is easier, but also joint. Thank you.
Are you fine with that? Yeah. You buy into that, yeah? None of us? Or okay. PhDs. Okay. So then it's 4 o'clock exactly. Thank you so much to our panelists. Yeah. Give a big hand to them. Thank you so much for coming, listening, and contributing, and also, if there were any, to our listeners online. And well, this is not the start, not the end, but we are in the middle of a long discussion, which is, of course, then just also then the beginning of action, we will take. Thank you so much. See you later.